everyone. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show. Again today, as Steve says, the guy that I like on YouTube, he says, woke up alive again, which is a good thing, right? And I appreciate all y'all guys joining in and everything. We're going to be talking about near-death experiences today. I just happen to have about a half a dozen. Yeah, that's me. And so I'm going to probably start with talking about some of my stuff here in just a little bit. But a couple of things. We've got Roxy here with us, of course. We've got
Hey.
We've got Miss Kim over here, as you can see in the little corner. We made a few little changes in the background here, so it wouldn't be quite so messy and block out some of the backlights, so y'all guys can see me a little bit better. Remember, I said I'll get it done one day. Well, actually, we can thank Roxy for that because she's the one that got it done. But we've got an open panel show today, so y'all guys can join. And when you join, the link is right below the video. You will come into a green room. The green room looks like this. Matter of fact, that is the green room. And you'll come into there, and Roxy will greet you over there and check you out a little bit, and just and then she'll move you over. She's going to ultimately give you a link to be able to come over and joining us on the main stage here. So yeah, we're open panel again today, and I've got something to show you here in a little while. I'm going to save it till everybody kind of gets here. But you may have remembered hearing me say I don't argue with donkeys. Well, we got a little something to show you that Roxy did. So, but we'll get to that here a little bit later. I see we got some cool people in the comments here. What's up, my brother, street minister that has been on open panel here before? You're welcome to join us, brother. The link should be right below the video. And Melinda, I don't know. I mean, I could probably do it real quick, but we don't have the link to the.
Oh, you need the green room link?
Yeah, but not main stage link, but green room link. You know what I mean?
Hang on.
And just drop it in the comments in case someone is on a platform where they can't see the link below.
I'm on it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been I stopped cutting my hair about 15 years ago when I realized that all I was doing was trying to fit in. And there's many other reasons as to why my hair is long. Orb watching from Norway. Man, that is nice. We're going to have an open panel here very soon, probably next week, where we're going to be specifically looking for international guests to come on the open panel and to just talk about the things that are going on there versus here and have that international conversation. So I hope you, Orb, I hope you join us again from Norway, and I hope you're all subscribed up. And that link that to the green room that Roxy's going to be dropping in the comments here in a minute, and it's below the YouTube videos if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, it should be there as well. I'm not positive on Rumble, to be honest with you. I need to double check that. So where'd that link
That's the green room.
That's green room. Okay.
That's green room.
That's green room. So yeah, that link's there in the comments. So y'all guys can click and join. The main conversation doesn't mean we're not going to talk about other things. But we got to have some kind of a topic, right? So we're just going to talk about near-death experiences and how or at least I'm going to explain some of mine and what happened. And there's this pattern that seems to take place, at least for me, during near-death experiences. And I'm going to discuss that pattern because I think there's something to be learned and definitely something supernatural. But we're going to discuss that. New Jersey Shore. Nice. The Wheel 187. I appreciate you being here. Matter of fact, I appreciate all of you, Winged Eternally, and everybody else that's in the comments and watching. If y'all guys would, I would like it if y'all guys would see Roxy's in the green room waiting on you there, as you can see. So we'll pull the green room down for the moment. And what was I going to say? And I got sidetracked there for a second.
We had a question for the audience, for everybody listening. We had a little meeting yesterday afternoon. How many commercials are you guys seeing?
Oh, yeah. We need to know. If y'all guys get a commercial, I want you to put it in the comments, commercial. Okay? And if it's your first commercial, put commercial 1. And if you see a second commercial, put commercial 2. Because when
C2 will work. Just hit C2.
How about C2 or C? Yeah, C1 for commercial 1, C2 for commercial 2, C10 if it's commercial 10. Because I'm seeing where YouTube is putting like 20 to 30 commercials on these streams, and I don't want that. That's not going to gain me or do me any good. All it's going to do is run y'all guys off. So
yeah, we don't want y'all bombarded, because see, we can't see that on our end. We don't get a warning because this is just live. We don't see any of that feedback as you're watching it live.
During the lives in the past, have y'all guys seen a lot of commercials, or has it been like very little commercials? And maybe they're just placing the commercials on the video after we're live, but they're still doing way too many. Nobody's going to watch it with 20, 30 commercials.
Yeah, that's the way they can get out of it without seeing it.
Because if somebody else is watching it live and they're seeing commercials, is it interrupting? Are you missing part of the conversation? Is my question.
Yeah. And just 20, 30 commercials is just way too.
Right.
You know, I mean, the channel is monetized, okay? But, so, a couple of commercials, but not this 5, 10, 20 thing. So, anyways, keep an eye on the commercials. And if you, let's see, went through 3 to 4 commercials before I tuned in just now. So you're saying there was 3 or 4 commercials?
Oh, okay. So they're losing 10 seconds of the live conversation minimum when they get zapped with a commercial.
Yeah, because then they have to speed forward to catch up with the live conversation.
Right. It's why don't they? This should be consensual. We should be able to know when they're coming. That way, people aren't missing part of the conversation.
Yeah, because hold on just a second.
You put the link back up.
Yeah.
The link? Yeah, I'll throw it back up.
Yeah, we can put the link back up. Just to drop it in the comments again. We had someone call.
It's in there. There we go. It's on the screen.
Just drop it in the comments too.
All right. But yeah, that's way too many commercials.
Let me just explain this. One of the only ways, there's a couple, but one of the only ways that I can generate an income from doing this is the ads. I don't like the ads, but it's the only way monetization really works for YouTube. But so 1 or 2, I think everybody would be okay with 1 or 2 during a 2-hour live stream. But this big number. So what I don't want y'all guys to do is just find some way just to turn off everything, because then it is improving it, but it's kind of hurting me then at that time. So it's like,
right. Well, I know that we're not going to be able to cut out any of the commercials, but at least if we had a warning that they were fixing to get everybody, we could take a break and slow down on the conversation.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
We're going to look into it some more, because
we're digging.
Yeah, we're trying to improve the show in a lot of different ways, guys. Not just with backdrops and this and that. We're working on all kinds of things. Roxy is helping me a lot with a lot of things. Guys, Shannon may be able to be here as well here shortly. I think she's trying, but we had a stomach virus and couldn't do the show on Wednesday, and me and Miss Kim. And now apparently Shannon's got something like that. Her stomach's all messed up. And so she may or may not be able to make it. I don't hold it against her if she can't. but we always enjoy it when Shannon's able to show up. Let's see here. If the ads help you, then we're fine with it. We'll just put forward drive on. Well, I don't like ads. I don't. But I also don't like not having a single dollar for the work that I do. And I know y'all guys contribute and help sometimes in various ways, but a lot of people are really, really tight on money. So the amount of donations that come in are way down from what they were. And
But we also want to do our absolute best to bring you the best show that we can bring you, because we want you to keep coming back. We enjoy the conversation.
yeah, we enjoy doing this too. This ain't just work. I mean, this really ain't work at all to me. It is my work, but it don't feel like work. It's just what I do every day, whether I'm live or not. Also,
All right, I'm off to the green room. I'll be back.
okay. Also, so you guys know, Roxy and I did a Beyond the Veil episode yesterday where we were doing some work in the studio and working on various different things, trying to get some things working, and that's up in the membership area on YouTube, and as of today, it'll be also on the website as well. LB Rolls, you are the hero of the day. We'll put that back up. That can stay there for a second. Hero for the day. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Because I can see how hard it is. They're raising prices on everything out there. They're jacking it, and they're doing all these tariffs. And it's like, how are we winning from a tariff? You only win as if you have the belief that the government's actually going to benefit you somehow by charging more for products to come in or go out, this kind of thing. It's like, that's not us winning. Unfortunately, it's not, guys. So thank you again, LB Roots. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, too many ads suck. Bad pup. I agree. But a few is okay. Exactly. All right. So now, near-death experiences. And I'm hoping some of y'all guys will drop in. As a matter of fact, it looks like we've got someone in the green room right now that's working their way in. Lottie is coming in. So she should be in here in a few minutes, I think. Roxy's talking to her and handling that. Thank you, Roxy. So let me start out by I'll share one of my near-death experiences, and trying to think about which one to share or whatever, and I've shared some of these with y'all guys before, but some of you are new and you haven't heard them. So, and I'm going to share what I'll call the attributes to the near-death experiences. Certain things that seem to be a repeating theme or attribute that happens when I found myself in these situations. Unfortunately, bad pup. That's the truth. And anybody that really wants to send a direct donation, the links are right below the video. There's PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. There's, even if you don't have those, there's links down there where you can send $1, $10, whatever you want to do. And it comes directly to me and nobody else is getting a share. Okay. Those are all below the videos. With that being said, I still appreciate a super chat. And I thank you very much for it. So, yes, YouTube is greedy, really greedy. So let's talk near-death experience or experiences and try to give you some attributes of what I've experienced. And, well, I guess I'll just start with the first one I ever had, which was a really good example for me anyways. And I never forgot it once it happened. And this actually, well, let me just go ahead and tell it. When I was 17 years old, this was about 1986. Yeah, 1986. 17-year-old out hanging out with the buddies, right? Other young teenage guys. We're riding in a car, and the car was being driven by Gasky. His last name was Gasky. Ernie. Yeah. Ernie Gasky was driving the car. And in the passenger front seat was a guy.
Let's not use full names.
I can't remember the other guy's even first name, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're probably right. Well, it actually happened. It's the truth, you know. So, anyways, so we're out riding around and we run across these other guys in another car, and we, for whatever reason, they decided they want to race, and this sounded like fun to me, you know. Well, it sounded like fun, but I'm not one to really. I like to go up to the edge and look over the edge of the cliff. I don't like going over it, really. I've always been lucky about that a lot of times. But in this case, I was in the back seat. This car, they had rebuilt the motor, but everything inside, interior-wise, in the car was all gone. It was all raw metal inside the car. It did have seats, but that was it. Seats, a steering wheel, a gas pedal, and the gauges were all working. And so we go down to the end of this long road, turn around, and go to head back, and we take off racing. And I'm sitting there looking, and I look at the speedometer, and we hit 140 in this death trap of a car. Hit 140 miles an hour, and I know in my mind there's this curve coming up. There's this road in Conway where I grew up at. It's called, well, there was a gas station back then. It was called Fast Fare. And there's this road that goes out of town down there, and you'll end up going around this one curve, and then there's this long straightaway. But it ain't that long when you're doing 140. And I knew this curve was coming up, and I knew this curve also had a dip in it. When you went through on the right-hand side, which is the side we were on, there's a dip. And so we're coming along at 140, and I lean up and tell the driver, I say, there's a curve coming up, and we're doing 140. And by the time I said that, here that curve come. And it didn't take us but a second or two more, and we were in the curve. And then, so far, everything was all right. But then we hit that dip. And when we hit that dip, the car just went, it just slid off the road like that. And there was a doctor's front yard there. They had a big old front yard. House was sitting way back, kind of like probably about 3 or 4 acres. In this front yard, there was these massive pine trees. I mean, fully mature, massive pine trees. Quite a few of them, and probably good reason. And the car started sliding off the road, and right as that started happening, all of a sudden, everything, and this is one of the attributes that I've experienced, one of the things that is consistent, everything goes into slow motion. Okay. In every one of my near-death experiences, there's a component of slow motion and missing memory. Okay. So it slides off, everything goes into slow motion, and I look around, and I can see the other guy. His name was Tracy. Now that I remembered it. And he was in a green Z28, about a 78 model. And he was coming by kind of like, and this was all in very slow motion, about as slow as I'm talking to you now. And I seen him going by, and he didn't hit the dip. He was in the other lane, which didn't have a dip. He was risking hitting someone coming head on from the other way, though. But we hit the dip, slid off the road, everything slow motion. And there was, in the front of this doctor's yard, there were fence posts that were like this big around, you know. There were fence posts and pole type made out of solid wood. And we hit those, and they were flying up from every direction, busting the windows, all this in slow motion. And I remember the car stove in the ground, the front end of the car stove the ground. And I remember that feeling of the one like that. And then no memory of anything that's happening next. We were only told what happened by the people in the other car, and they said the car stove went end over end a couple of times and then hit like 2 or 3 pine trees, these massive pine trees. So, but when the car stove and started to flip, that's when I had no more memory. So the slow motion stopped and just blackness for a moment, no more memory. Next thing I know is I open my eyes and I'm looking around, and I'm hanging out the passenger door of a 2-door like Camaro, 70 something model. And I'm hanging out the passenger door. And right beside me, half my body is in the back floorboard. Waist up, it's hanging out of the car, the door's open. And I didn't have to push it open or anything, it was just open. Right beside me, smashed into the car where I would have been sitting, is the pine tree. It was smashed into the car. The car was absolutely, completely totaled out. Now remember, there was no interior in the car. Jagged metal everywhere. I crawled out of the car, and immediately I started thinking, I'm like looking for blood and seeing what's going on, you know. And that only lasted a couple of seconds. I was like, I think I'm okay. And then I turned and started looking for the other guys. And the guy that was in the passenger front seat, he was now in the driver's seat, but not in the seat. He was in the floorboard. All of him was up under the steering wheel. He was under there. The driver's door was closed, but the driver's window was busted out, or either was rolled down, one of the two. And the guy that was driving is missing. We're like, I see the other guy, and I'm saying, where's so-and-so? We're looking for the driver. And I help him get out. His shoulder's dislocated, I believe, if I remember correctly. He was screaming in pain. He had some cuts on him and some injuries and stuff. And we're like, we got to get to the hospital. Let's find this other guy. We go out and go around the car, because he crawled out through the passenger seat, if I remember correctly. We got out and went around the car. And there's the other guy, the driver, laid out like this on the ground over there, not moving. I thought he was dead. And my stomach just sunk. I'm like, oh no, he got thrown out, obviously. And maybe the car landed on him. But we went over there, started calling his name. And he kind of like just woke up and was like, kind of grunting for a moment. And then he kind of snapped to it. And we were like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he had some injuries and stuff too. I can't remember what all they were, but he was injured. So the guy that was driving the other Trans Am turned around, by this time was driving back up. And we were all yelling out, we got to go to the hospital. We got to go to the hospital. So we all piled in his car, left the wrecked car there. This all took place in a matter. Thank you, my brother. I greatly appreciate that. Anyone see him, please match, and let's start a $20 trend. Someone follow this up. Well, thank you for the effort, my brother. Thank you very much. So,
Okay, I'm gonna let you know. We got, I think Lottie is her name. She'll be joining us shortly at the bottom.
okay,
She's got a near-death experience she wants to share.
okay.
So she's in no rush. Just whenever we get ready, you can bring her up.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for her down there.
Okay.
And there she is. Okay, Lottie, I see you in the main stage studio now, and I'll be bringing you up here in just a minute. I'm going to finish telling my part of this, the rest of my part of this near-death experience, and then I'll bring you up, introduce you, and we can talk to you. Now, Lottie, I'm sure Roxy told you, but for now, it's a requirement that you keep your camera off, okay? If you turn your camera on, I'll remove you from stage. But we're glad you're here, and we want to hear your story, and we want you to just tell it exactly like you remember it. Don't worry about somebody thinking you're crazy. Don't worry about, just worry about it's the truth. That's all you got to do. All right. So we'll bring you up in just a minute, Lottie. All right. So Tracy pulls up with his car that didn't wreck, and we're like, we got to go to the hospital. So we all pile in the car. I don't even know why I went. I guess I didn't have no other ride. But I wasn't hurt. I didn't even get a scratch. Nothing. We all took off to the hospital like a bunch of idiots. We went to the hospital. You know, the guy did have a dislocated shoulder and other injuries. I think somebody broke their hand or some different things. They went in the emergency room. They got treated. And I remember standing there thinking, why am I here? And why am I not hurt? And what just happened? And I thought about this for years and years and years, of course, which I can still remember it like it was yesterday, of this happening to me. And so I said, why am I here? Anyways, I can't remember who I called, but I ended up calling somebody, and they came and got me. What's happening, Brother Chris? Good to see you here, my brother. So I remember thinking back over it so many times, like, couldn't understand why I didn't get hurt, because some people get hurt in these near-death experiences. Some people don't. I didn't. I never have gotten hurt. Never even broke a bone. Nothing. I mean, I've had injuries and different things I could tell you, so I can be injured, obviously, but I didn't get injured. And I remember everything going into slow motion and a loss of memory for there. Like I hit my head, but I didn't hit my head. I didn't scratch, didn't do nothing. Not even a bruise, wasn't even sore the next day. It was supernatural. And, but what I want you to kind of take from that, for now, for the moment anyways, is slow motion and loss of memory, because I've experienced those two things every time that I've had a near-death experience, which is about a half a dozen probably. It might be another half a dozen. I don't remember because I was inebriated or something. Now, with that being said, we do have a guest here in the studio, Lottie. And we're going to bring Lottie on up in just one moment here and have a chat with her. Hi, Lottie. Welcome to the Supernatural Show. This is Danny.
Hey, Lottie.
Hello. Thank
Hello.
you so much.
Thank you. You're the one that deserves the thanks.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, for being willing to come here and speak the truth.
Well, we'll see. I just got to say.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of finished one of my stories of near-death experiences of a car crash and all that. And I said that two of the things I really took from it was, well, really three things. No injuries, a slow motion experience when the danger was really getting dangerous, and a loss of memory for a short period of time when the real danger was happening. And I could tell, which I probably will during the show here, I'll tell another story, one that's unbelievable completely. But it is what it is. It is the truth. And that's what I want you to do, is just share with us and tell us the truth. And
Okay.
don't worry
And
about
I will.
sounding crazy or anything. Don't worry about sounding crazy. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. I want to know.
That's why I'm calling, because I've had lots of crazy looks, and
That's
I
what,
know you won't. So yes.
well, you're with the crazy crew right now. Maybe.
Woohoo.
I told her we're all just sitting around on beanbags having a really cool conversation.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Um, so tell us all about it, Lottie.
Well, I have one really big focus I want to go to, but because you talked about the car wreck, it really moved me to tell you just a real uber fast version. When I was 16, on my 16th birthday, I went out on my first date, traditional, couldn't go out till you're 16. And we got into a wreck. We hit a telephone pole, very rural, very small town. The pole we hit was the uh, main circuit to the whole town, so everybody lost power.
Oh wow.
Um, the engine came forward onto us, and really don't even. I hate to say waste time on these details, but um, I and my boyfriend got out of the truck. He was very broken. My right leg and foot was all broken, and I carried him across the street. I laid him in the yard, and it happened to be his uncle's house, who happened to be a paramedic. Well, I just remember dropping him and laying next to him. We were both covered in blood. And then I just remember the entire town. Now, it's not a big town, but when everybody in town comes, they all come, just surrounded, all these lights, and just everybody. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I remember everybody helping me get in the ambulance and going to the hospital. And then I went to surgery. The next day, I asked, how did all those people get there so fast? And they said, Lottie, there was nobody there. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh no, the whole town was there. All the lights were on. And they're like, nobody was there. The paramedic called an ambulance, and a couple people came and got y'all. And it was a bad wreck. It was horrible, everything, total. But so there's that.
Wow.
That was when I was 16, on my 16th birthday. Happy birthday. And I obviously was fine. We
When
we spent a few months in the hospital, but I really want to go to 2018. And I hate to say that this is a near death experience, because not so much, but I had an experience where I was taken to heaven for about 3 minutes, time lapse here, because I was listening to a song, and the same song that I started listening to was still on when I came back. But I equivalent it to 300 years in heaven. And obviously, I can't tell you all about that. But um, I just felt like I needed to call you and tell you this happens. This is real. I can tell you all about it. And I kind of
I've
feel like, do you have any questions?
I've heard we've had other guests that come on um, say similar things. And see, just because I haven't actually experienced that feeling like I have been taken to heaven, um, does not mean it's not a real experience that some people have. Just
Yeah.
like just like when I said that I got in a car wreck at 140 miles an hour, and I should have gotten an injury, but I didn't get nothing. You know,
Well, yeah,
and yet
exactly.
you
Yeah.
got a car wreck and got your legs broke. You know, it's like no, I want to hear
Well, this,
everything about that, Lottie.
yeah, going to heaven, there was no injury. I was sitting on my couch doing nothing. I had on a worship song, just trying to praise the Lord. And I think I want to tell you all about there, but let me compare the coming back, though. When
Okay.
I came back, exactly what you said, the slowdown, the coming back was Oh my gosh. I should have had better words ready. Um, Heavy. It's hard to breathe. Your body hurts, and I wasn't even in a wreck or hurting, but it's heavy. It's not comfortable. When you're in the spirit, God is your breath. Yahweh, Yod Hey Vav Hey, pick a name, whoever you want to call him.
Sure.
The one. He is the light, and he is what you're breathing. He is the source of who you are at that moment. And when you come back and you have to breathe oxygen, it's not right. It's different. Is
Well,
that a good explanation of coming back? I mean,
I
I
think I think you're doing a great job trying to explain something supernatural.
yeah, obviously if you're in heaven, if you're in hell, coming back is different too.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've heard
What
stories, but
do you have a memory of what you've seen when this
yes,
experience? Or
fully. And
help?
the it's so hard because I feel like that is more real life to me. That is a greater memory than any of my childhood good, and I don't have a terrible childhood. I could share a lot of good childhood memories, but I'd rather share those memories because they are more vibrant and real and alive, and the colors and the sounds and the smells and the atmosphere and the okay, I didn't want to ramble. Sorry.
No, you're not
I,
rambling. You're doing
I
good.
guess try to ask me a question so I can try to be specific,
All right,
I guess.
let's go back to your wreck that you had.
Okay.
I had a question I want to ask you about that.
Okay.
When it happened, do you have any recollection or memory of anything, any kind of slow motion event? Like right when
Oh,
it was.
totally. The whole thing. It was just like the whole thing happened within 1 minute, but it felt like a 10-minute scenario. I could see every minute second of the whole thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. And did you have any lapse of memory?
Definitely. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
So like just a span in that period there where you just don't remember everything. But right before
Yeah.
that, you could see every little detail because everything was in this super slow motion
Slow
thing.
motion. Yes. Yes.
So there we have someone that's had that slow motion experience, and I know there's people out there listening right now that have had that experience, the experience of near death situation where you have this right as things are getting really serious, everything goes into this slow motion, and you can see everything like it's like you're on some kind of trip or something. It's like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
everything
Uh-huh.
really slow, and it's
Uh-huh.
like okay, I guess we're crashing. Okay, better hold on, and it's like
Exactly.
drags
Yes.
quite well,
Mhm.
and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden,
You explained that very good. Yes.
and then all of a
Very
sudden,
good. Sorry.
you have this then the feeling of just having a gap in your memory. And
Mhm.
what happened during that time? What kind of intervention might have been going on to save your life? Because I know that's what's happened with me. My life has literally been intervened and saved um, for a purpose at that time I didn't understand nor appreciate. Because I went out and did something else stupid and about died again and still got saved.
Mhm. Mhm.
Father in heaven is very merciful with his children
Mhm.
and saving us from ourselves sometimes. Because a lot of times in our lives, even right now, you may be listening and thinking you don't have anything much to live for. You hate this world, but you may have a purpose that the reason why you're still here that you need to address a purpose, something you're supposed to do, just like what I'm doing right now and what Roxy's doing, what Lottie's doing, which is just this is what my purpose is to spread the truth explore these supernatural aspects of our lives that most people tend to not talk about because, it's like weird or crazy or whatever. A lot of supernatural topics are like that. And this is a place where you can come and you're not going to be attacked. You're not going to be judged. And you can just, no matter how, wild it sounds, like, okay, I had an experience, like you were saying, sitting on the couch and I went to heaven, it seemed. And then I came back and it really felt like I was gone. And that's just quite an amazing experience, to be quite honest. But I've heard it from a number of people like that. And it sounds like glorious and amazing and a little scary at the same time.
Well, and I have a side note. If anybody has any questions, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't on any drug, nothing. It was just an afternoon because it happens that way too. I understand, but.
And I know I kind of asked, but as you can see, there's somebody asking in the comments there. They're asking me to ask you about heaven. And did you see any particular deity or bright light or any of these anything you can describe is what they're asking for? Because people are listening to you. There's nobody here judging you. They're actually all listening and want to know anything you can share with them.
They want to know more.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, for what I saw, the only person like that I would have recognized as would be my grandmother. But I just saw her. We didn't interact. She was just there doing things. Mostly, I would call it angels or maybe people who have gone before us. I didn't, just light beings.
So they were like balls of light?
Just light. They were light. Just light. Beautiful light. And we just, like, I went into this music room. I love music. I can't sing a lick. I can't play a lick of nothing. But I love music. And there were pianos and everything an orchestra would have. But every note that was played, like what we would understand as a piano, there were like 10,000 more notes in that one note. Every octave that we would sing, there's 10,000 more other octaves that we don't know about. Does that make sense? Probably not, but
well, I get it more than you think, probably.
But the people I encountered, I just call them people, but light people. They were transformed, beautiful, young, vibrant people.
Yeah, and they're perfect.
The grass, the flowers had life. They were living. There was nothing dead. The trees were beautiful, blooming, no dead limbs hanging. You know what I mean?
It sounds like everything in its perfect state.
Yeah.
And wouldn't we expect heaven to be something like that? Everything in its most perfect, beautiful state.
Exactly.
And wouldn't we expect there to be a lot of white light? Because white light is what Father says he is.
That is, yes.
And the angels, because I've experienced angels up close and personal about 100 times. Miss Kim has been with me sometimes too, as well, with these experiences, and they were bright white balls of light, just perfect. And you have sometimes a little bit of you can see all the colors of the rainbow, kind of sometimes in them, in the angels that I've seen, because they come to me as Volkswagen-sized balls of light, very large, very powerful, like archangels are the ones that have visited me mostly. A lot of people see like little small orbs, and they'll see them in the house and other places. I don't see that quite as much. I see these large Volkswagen-sized balls of light that come close to me, not any closer than, probably the closest I've ever seen one is about 30 foot. But I've never tried to approach one either, really. I've considered maybe doing that at some point, maybe going to the beach. One day we're going to have a big get together at some beach here, maybe in South Carolina, maybe somewhere else. And we're going to invite all y'all guys to come. And maybe when times hopefully improve a little bit and it's easier for people to be able to come, and all of us come and just get together and have a beautiful weekend, go out to the beach at nighttime and see if the good Lord would bless us with having some of the angels show up for everyone to see. And yeah, I hope to be able to pull it off sometime in the reasonably near future. We'll see. I'm going to work on it. It's something me and Roxy have been talking about too, trying to make something like that happen. Well, let's see. Somebody's got a question here. Our brother Street Minister has a question. It says, Lottie, when you had this experience, were you able to notice anything pertaining to breathing? Yes, she was kind of describing the breathing thing a little bit. Pertaining to breathing that you were maybe aware of, but I think you kind of described that. Maybe describe it again, the breathing aspect, because there's a reason why he's asking, obviously.
Okay, I don't know, like in the physical, if I stopped breathing. I have no idea. I was just sitting on the couch with my eyes closed. But in the part of when I was coming back from heaven, coming back down, I felt it so difficult to breathe when I was, I guess, jolted back into my body, because while I was there, the atmosphere was completely different. It was pure, it was holy, it was clean, it was just God. It was just Yod He Vav He, Creator, the One. The one. It was holy and pure breathing, and He sustained my life. That holy
That's
breath.
what it felt like. Wow.
And then when I came back here, I realized I had to breathe in our oxygen, whatever however we breathe, and it was very different. It was not right to me because I had experienced what was right in my mind. I hope that explains it.
Yeah, I think so. If that answers your question, brother, that was asking about that. Let's see here. I was looking. Bad Pup says white orbs can be good or bad. I don't know. I've never experienced anything bad from them. They've only shown me attributes and things that they can do, and different behaviors that they exhibit, and which is good because I've had those many experiences starting from as far back as about 13 years ago, somewhere around in there. I started having all these experiences, and now people are talking about all the orbs and drones and all this, and I'm able to look at those in their videos and different things, and I can say, okay, that has attributes of an angel, or I can say that does not, and that's Starlink. The lights that come out of the horizon way out in the distance, and they come up over you like this, and they stay lit up, and they're going pretty much in a straight line. They come right up above you and they disappear. Starlink. That's not an angel. Angels don't do that like that. Yeah. So I greatly appreciate you coming on here and sharing your truth with us, Lottie. You're welcome to hang out a little bit if you want to, and or if you have to go, you're welcome to do that as well. But you're welcome to hang around too if you like. Okay. And we'll see if we have somebody else show up here in a minute.
We
Well,
got a quiet crowd out there today. I'm not seeing much chatting. What's
yeah,
everybody doing?
not as much chat and a little bit less on the crowd itself than normal. So
Well, we weren't here Wednesday because we weren't feeling well, so maybe everybody got thrown out of sync. I don't know.
and you never know, people could be not feeling well and things like
I
this.
know you're talking. I see you out there, LB Rules.
Well, what we're going to do something a little bit different.
Oh, can I say something to Bad Pup? Yes.
Yeah.
Tobacco and nicotine does expel negative things, especially things that are viral. It will not let them attack your system.
Roxy, you have the ability to put things on the stage so people can see what you're responding to, like that. Yeah.
Native tobacco smoke repels negative beings. Who'da thunk? Well, one of the biggest things back during that thing that happened a few years ago, and everybody had to cough and the sneezes. One of the first things they did in some of the other countries, especially in your senior citizen communities, was they went by and slapped a nicotine patch on their arm, because nicotine is an antiviral. If it's an airborne virus, like your kids, they go to school, they come home, everybody's swapping germs at public schools. It helps repel the virus from being able to stick to the little hairs in your nasal and throat cavity and replicate. So that is one of the first things they did to the vulnerable community in other countries, was they slapped them with a nicotine patch.
That's true. I wouldn't even think that was real, except for I know when the whole plan demonic started rolling out, there was a huge push, I noticed, of them trying to get people to quit smoking. I'm like, where did this come from? And so I started researching it, and it has to do with the receptors in the brain and in the body and stuff. Somehow nicotine is plugged into these receptors, basically, and it doesn't allow these other things that they wanted to attack us to be able to attack us as well. Now, I'm not encouraging anybody to go out and start smoking. Okay, it's a bad habit. But I'm just saying.
No, just know for future things, if you think there's a virus going around and nothing else fails, and you're trying to protect yourself, nicotine does cut down on viral contagion.
Yep. All right. What we're going to do, guys, and I'll explain why in a second, but my stomach is still kind of off. So we're going to take a intermission break. It's going to be about 5 minutes. So maybe if you need to go to the restroom or get a drink of water or anything.
And I'm about to run out because I got to go get kids off the school bus today.
Yep, you sure do. But will you be back after that?
I don't know if I'll make it back in time for everybody. So in case I don't get to talk to anybody else today, have a good weekend. Everybody relax, be grateful, give some gratitude for all the wonderful things in the world that you have. We love you. I think there's a store running below. If not, we got some new t-shirts up there if y'all want to go check them out. I worked real hard on those things, trying to figure out something to go on them.
Let's show this one real quick, because I really like what she did. It just happened to come up in a few different shows, and I mentioned it to Roxy about making a t-shirt about this, and you can see it right here. It says, "Don't argue with donkeys." Okay, so that is the back of the t-shirt. It says, "Don't argue with donkeys." Okay, now the front of the t-shirt says this. It just simply says "Truther." Okay, and then on the back it says, "Don't argue with donkeys." Or we might get one that says, "I don't argue with donkeys" as well. Or maybe we can edit this one. But anyways, I like it. I think it's if someone's into truth and they see you wearing this, they're going to get it and they're going to want to maybe chat with you. But if they're not, they just won't have a clue. You either know or you don't know.
Yeah. It's our way to find our friends that want to sit on the beanbag and talk.
Yeah. It's a way to maybe connect with people in public, because most people in public, they don't want to talk donkeys, because most people.
Well, can you show the Noah one before I go? I want to go. I like that one.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Here we go.
my grandbabies. I got to get them. They can't be home alone. So
Says, I got to make that thing stop popping up. I think we're good on the website. Says Noah was a let me blow it up here. Says Noah was a conspiracy theorist. Then it rained. Luke 17:26. Yeah, how about that, right?
yep, I like that one. Okay, I'm out, guys. Have a good weekend. Love and abundance. Be grateful.
I don't have any Logic Before Authority T-shirts. Thank you, Roxy.
You're welcome.
I don't have any Logic Before Authority T-shirts currently, but I might see what I could come up with. It's mostly based around the brand of the Supernatural Show, and things like that T-shirt there. That's pretty cool. And also, I really like that one. But me personally, just because I came up with the idea of the I don't argue with donkeys idea, I think that's pretty cool. Those are available on the website. You have to go on the website and go to the Supernatural store. Matter of fact, what I'll do, just in case, which ain't much chance of it, probably, but I will drop this in the comments if I can find the right button here, so you can check that out for yourself if you want. Matter of fact, you can check it out right now if you want for a minute, because we're going to take a little intermission. Give me a moment, a little break. I know I don't normally do this, but I think I'm going to do it today. And I'll be back here, and let's see, this is 5 minutes and 49 seconds long. And some of you have seen it before. Some of you haven't. But even if you've seen it before, I'd ask you to look at it and see if you can understand what I'm trying to say. So with that being said, Lottie, feel free to hang around, and I'll be back here in about 5 minutes and 49 seconds.
It's a twister! It's a twister!
I imagine right now you're feeling a bit like Dorothy, landing in Oz in a realm that just does not feel quite like home. I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who does not accept what he sees, because he suspects everything his eyes present to him is a lie. Ironically, this is very close to the truth. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you cannot explain, but you can feel it. You have felt it your entire life, that something is wrong with this world, that has been presented to you with the full expectation that you accept it and never question it. You don't know completely what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you here to me, to now, to a choice. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is? It is the supernatural image and word of God. It is all around us right now, even in your very room where you are sitting at this moment. You can see it when you peer into the mirror at your own reflection, or when you take a photo of a friend. You can feel it when the sun shines, or when a wave in the sea crashes upon you. You can taste it when you bite into an apple, and see it when you tear open a fruit. You can feel it when you caress a woman, or when a woman caresses you. And you can see it upon the woman's body, the breasts, the buttocks, and eyes alike. It is there when you speak or when you take a breath. You can hear it when the great owl screeches, or see it written upon his face. You can see it coming when a whirlwind is nearly upon you, and hear it when the thunder rolls. And you can feel it when the wind blows. It is the world that exists beyond the veil. It must be perceived with the mind before the eye can see it. A world that no one ever informed you of, yet you know it's there. If you speak of it, others will say you're crazy, for you must believe what they believe. Like everyone else, you were born and introduced and convinced of a false reality, a false world, a prison world designed so that you would not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch the supernatural reality of the true world. They built a prison for your mind and a hell for your soul. And they pray to their gods that you will never wake up. Unfortunately, no one can be shown what the supernatural world is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You hit the back button, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you believed before this moment. Or you continue watching and you cross beyond the veil. And I will show you what is behind the wizard's curtain. Remember, all I am offering you is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. It is now time to choose. Go back now, or continue beyond the veil.
So I stated in that no one can show you the supernatural. You have to see it for yourself. And I'm also making a lot of reference to other teachings that I've done on this platform, such as trees and volcanoes, what they have to do with each other, and the teachings and stories I've told about angels, near-death experiences, and a lot of other things, out-of-body experiences, and all these kind of things that I've experienced. And there's things I have not experienced, of course, like what Lottie was talking about. And I hope that over time, y'all guys start to be able to understand and see these things for yourself, because you literally can't be shown it. You can be helped a little bit along the way, like I'm trying to do, but you have to see it for yourself. But once you see it, it's like looking at a whole new world. It's once you see the beauty within, the amazing true beauty within the male and female bodies, and what they really are, and what they really represent, and what we really are, and what these vessels are. It is an amazing thing. An amazing thing. So we don't have Rox here with us. So we don't have anybody to run the green room. So I think what we're going to do today, guys, is go ahead and call it a short day, because I'm still not feeling perfect. Yeah, one of those day kind of things, or one of those weeks almost now. Me and Miss Kim here have been dealing with it for about 3 or 4 days now, something like that. And I won't get into the details because they ain't funny or fun, but you can imagine. Anyways, guys, I love you. I thank you for sharing with me. And I think y'all guys that are members as well of the Supernatural Show or Logic Before Authority, like I believe Bad Pup is a member. So I greatly appreciate it. And we'll be back Monday. Again, we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday with me on here. And here soon, we're going to be going 5 days a week. And then here soon after that, we're hoping we're going to make it to 7 days a week. We're trying to grow. The thing I'm not willing to do is sell out. I get approached all the time via email of companies want me to push their products, and I've said no to every single one of them. And we're probably talking about 100 different companies. But if it's not something I believe in or believe you need, I'm just not going to do it. Even if it causes me to have to financially suffer, I'm just not going to sell out. So far, I've been able to make it just through the support of y'all guys. And we're going to continue down that way. Hello, Carl. Glad you're here, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank all you guys for being here. I greatly appreciate you, but like I say, I'm not feeling 100% today. But we'll be back here on Monday, okay? If not sooner, because we could go live at any time depending on what's going on, or I could put out a video. As y'all guys know, I drop videos mostly on Logic Before Authority on a regular basis, and on Rumble. And now I'm doing Facebook, and I'm also on TikTok. I'm uploading a lot to TikTok right now because they have the ability to go live as well, and I want to add that to this. So if y'all guys can go over and look up the Supernatural Show on TikTok, if you use it, and follow the Supernatural Show on TikTok, that would be something you could do to help me out, okay? It doesn't cost you a dime if you're already using it. There are some legitimate good conversations going on TikTok. It's not all nonsense, believe it or not. Typically, you'll find those in the lives and where they have group conversations, which is where part of how I got the idea to do this. I just had to figure out how to do open panel. So with that being said, guys, please share the video. Please hit the little like button. I think it helps. So go for it. And put it on your calendar, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 2 o'clock. I'm going to do everything I can to start hitting 2 o'clock. Okay. I hit it within 2 minutes today, and I've been hitting it pretty good most of the days for last going on a month now. And I'm going to keep trying to do that. Okay. So 2 o'clock Eastern Time, US, the Supernatural Show is coming on. Be there, be square. Okay. I love you. We'll see you next time on the Supernatural Show.